Hey, welcome to Real at Midnight, a podcast where we uncork and unwind. I'm Pa Houa.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Gao.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen to today's episode.
Today we are drinking a Merlot from Meridian Vineyard. We are not sponsored by this brand, but we would always love to be sponsored by
A winery.
Yes, right?
But if anyone wants to sponsor us. I don't know. I was like, what do we call it?
I know, right? Like, and not the liquor store. So we are reaching the end of our very first season of Real at Midnight podcast. I can't believe that we've already made it this far.
Yeah.
It's
kind of crazy.
But look out for season 2, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
We're excited.
We have a lot in store. Mm-hmm. To conclude the season, we also want to release a Q&A episode by answering any burning questions that you all might have for us. So if there's anything you're curious about, please submit your questions using the link provided below. This survey is anonymous, so we won't know who is sending us these questions. But if you want to be known, feel free to add your name to that and we'll give you a shout out as well.
Mm-hmm. So moving on, today our topic for discussion is self-love. To give love and to receive love is one of the best feelings ever. However, life can be crazy at times, and it's very easy to forget to love yourselves when it's something that we may need most during those times. That is why we want to dedicate the final episode of February doing some self-reflection on how we love ourselves.
So self-love is defined as regard for one's own well-being and happiness. So in other words, taking care of your own needs and not sacrificing your well-being to please others. So ladies, what does self-love look like to you two?
I would say just feeling comfortable under your own skin and just loving who you are. Not trying to be perfect or perfect for anyone and not trying to live up to anyone's standard.
But your own standards.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How about you, Gal?
For me, I feel like it's a journey and it's there some days and it's not. Mm-hmm. And just kind of going off what you said too, I think self-love is about like being comfortable with who you are and not necessarily comparing yourself to others and other people's progress or what they have in their life and what you may not have. Mm-hmm. And then just appreciating other little things you have in life and just embracing all your beauties and imperfections. To me, that's what it looks like. But to me, it's also a journey too, because I feel like it doesn't come overnight. And
that's true. Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of work to have a really positive self-love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. And I think it takes like a lot of courage to really accept, yourself and who you are and all those flaws for you to really start to learn yourself. And I really do agree with Gal, like this really is a journey, especially since we can be so easily influenced by those around us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot by social media too.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. All the trends and influencers that are out there right now. Mm-hmm. I think that plays a big role in self-love and self-esteem as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I see a lot of that on social media too. It's like, am I not worthy of having these stuff too? Like, how come they can do it and I can't do it?
Right.
Mm-hmm. And there's just a lot of this self-judgment, like not feeling worthy of achieving that greatness or even it's just a car and just getting a car. That's still pretty big and from my point of view. And so I can totally see where you're coming from when you say like maybe it's all just for show, but that show really affects me.
Yeah. It makes me think like, oh dang, like did I do something wrong like in my life? That's why I'm not there. But
Your time will come. That's why I gotta remind myself. I also think it's different for everyone too, what their priorities are.
that's true. Yeah.
Like, to me, I think about in the future, do I just want a small, like, comfortable home and then spend the rest of my money doing other things I really enjoy? Or do
Right.
I want to live it extravagant, buy a big home and, like, and not be able to use my money for all the things that I really love too?
Yeah.
Right? So it's
Yeah.
like a,
Priority thing.
yeah.
I think that kind of goes on to our next question. Like, how do you prioritize yourself? Do you prioritize yourself pretty high? Like, do you spoil yourself? Or are you more of like I don't need this. I don't want this. I'm not going to do this for myself.
I feel like I prioritize myself pretty low. The example that always comes up in my head is when I am buying something for myself, I always second think it, like, do I really need it? Should I really buy it? It's just in the cart for a long time before I decide that I should buy it. But then if it's like food for someone or a gift for someone or something for Vat, then I'll be like, take my credit card, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm just hard on myself and what I buy myself too. Like, it has to be, for me, like, it has to be cheap. But for other people, like, oh, it's $50, like $100. Okay, that's fine. But for me, like, this jean costs like $42. Like, no, like, that's too expensive for me. I wish I could, like, put myself higher up, but I think it's just me, and I just tend to cater to people more than myself.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I don't prioritize myself as high as others. Like, when it comes to like Tutor, I would do more things for him than for myself. And then same thing with like the house. Like, if I'm feeling tired and I don't want to do anything, like, I like scratch that and I'm like, I need to clean, because I don't know, if my mother-in-law or my parents come over and the house is dirty as heck, like, they're gonna be talking shit and I don't want to hear it, so I better clean. You're not tired.
They're your motivation to clean.
But yeah, I'm on the same boat as you too, Gal, where I don't do that much for myself. But yeah, it's definitely something that I need to work on too.
Yeah. I feel like that kind of reflects how you go about your day, though. Like, most of the time we wake up, we go to work, and then we come home, we tend to other people. And then at the end of the day, we find time to ourselves. Whereas, like, I feel like if we prioritize ourselves first, then usually when you wake up in the morning, you do something for yourself. Like, I know a lot of people do morning yoga, or they work out, or they meditate, or they just have that space to themselves before they really begin their day. And I think that sets a really good intention. For some reason, I just kind of thought about that now.
No, that's true. I feel like I watch a lot of people do their morning routine and they do that.
Yeah.
Like they really, some people, they wake up like extra early just so that they can have breakfast or just have like a nice cup of coffee before they go off to work. And that's their kind of alone time to really think about what they want to do in their day and how they want to proceed. So like seems like a small thing, but I'm sure it makes a big difference.
Yeah. We're talking about alone time. Like, I feel like I'm starting to appreciate that alone time, because before, like, whenever I get a chance to be a teacher, I'm like, no, we have to spend time like together until we go to sleep. The next day when we wake up, we have to do everything together. But then like I'm starting to kind of appreciate that alone time. Like, when at night, when teacher's like in his computer room and I'm just like in the living room by myself, like watching TV or like just touching my phone, and it kind of just concludes my day at night, or like, I don't know, like it just allows me to have time to just kind of unwind and get out of that go mindset. This morning, like at 7, 8 in the morning, my sister came over, and after she left, like I had like 2 hours just to do whatever I want, and that was nice because teacher is still sleeping.
Yes, you deserve some quiet time too.
Yeah, it was nice. I feel like I'm growing old because I'm starting to enjoy those times, but
You should before you start popping kids, and
That's true.
your life is all about them too, and self-love. It's
Yeah.
very at the bottom of the pole.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Okay, so this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about being judgmental towards yourself, or do you guys find yourself doing that more? Or do you find yourself talking about yourself with more love, like more proud of yourself?
I feel like I judge myself so hard when it comes to myself. I don't know.
Yeah, it's because you are your worst critic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It goes to show a lot of the times for me too.
Yeah.
I do feel that I'm very judgmental on myself. For me, it's hard to talk about myself, especially when I think about like beginning the year and for my work, just doing performance review, and you have to write about like, what are your strengths and how did that play a role in achieving all your goals last year? And you're just kind of like, ooh, what did I really do to like help everyone? But then when my boss talks about me and like how I do so well in my job, and he always has so many things to say and is always praising me, I'm like, oh, I should really like take note of these mentally and remind myself that, you know, I am doing a really good job, and I should stop being so hard on myself all the time. Where that's because, like, you know, growing up, you don't get a lot of affection from people, like from your Asian parents. So it's hard to like know what love is when love wasn't shown to you, like how it is in the movies, or like in the, you know, the Mika people, the white families that portray love to their kids.
Yeah, I agree, because I was just thinking about just in our culture in general, like, you know, you don't hear us talking about how great we are. We talk about how great our family is, how great our clan is. You know, like we're more of a collective community compared to maybe the Western, where it's more individual. So they're always talking about themselves and trying to sell themselves, and be like with their resume, like you want to talk about your strengths. And so I think that's definitely why I feel like I'm way more judgmental towards myself than I am talking about myself with love. Just because I think, I don't know, I definitely find instances where I'm walking, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I walking okay? Is my posture okay?
Right.
No.
I get that a lot too.
It's like so awkward. I'm like, why am I thinking about this at this moment?
Like I just picture myself walking in a mall, or because I know it's happened before, but just walking, and I think, am I walking funny? Like, I'm walking too fast. I know I'm really short, but do I look like a kid?
Yeah, I feel like I get a lot of those, or sometimes where I'm just like having a conversation. I'm like, wait, did I say that? That sounds weird. Or, you know, like, oh, I don't think what I said matched the conversation. Or just like tiny little stuff. It's like, well, why am I being so harsh on myself?
Yeah.
You said something about how, like, during interviews and, like, they ask you how your strength or what your strengths are. I think those are one of, like, the toughest questions to answer, just because I feel like we're not used to, like, praising ourselves to other people. That's probably why when we're asked to praise ourselves, like, our thoughts are, like, everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like maybe those are my strengths, but I also feel like they could be so much better. Like,
Yeah.
more developed, that it doesn't feel like a string to me.
Yeah. All right, question I wanted to ask you guys too was, how do you guys like take compliments when someone compliments you? How do you take it?
Oh, I feel like it's weird when somebody compliments me. I think even when TK and I were dating, he's like, oh, you look so cute. I was like, what? Oh, thanks. It's like, I don't know what to say. You know, when they said, do I say thanks? If I say thanks, am I being conceited? Or if I don't say, oh, you think so? It's like, oh, I don't know. Like, it's just so much goes on in my head. It's like, how do I respond to those kind of comments?
Yeah. Because like when I was younger, like when people would give me like compliments, I'll be like, you know, like, no, I'm not pretty. You're pretty, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you have to kind of, I don't know, like deny that compliment and like prove that you're not worthy of that compliment or something, you know? But
I see that a lot. For me, like, I say, thanks, you too, like, accept it and also give it back.
No, I think that's true. I think even when I compliment other people, they're like, oh, thanks. Like, they seem so proud of it. They're like, oh, yeah, I know, you know? And I feel like I want to get to that level where, I know I look good, or I know I'm doing a good job.
Yeah.
Without feeling like I am not worthy of it.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, now I remember. I feel like for me, when I get compliment, I take it, but then it makes me feel good. It's not like it's not because I already know, like, because I don't think myself in that way. Like, I don't, if someone say, oh, you're pretty, I'm like, oh, well, thanks. Then I feel better. I feel good about myself. But it's not the fact that I already thought I felt pretty. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
So it's like
You're pretty without trying.
no, no, it's like, so like, if I feel like, you know, I don't think I'm pretty, but someone says, hey, you're really pretty. And I say, oh, thanks. Then it makes me feel a little bit better with myself. Like, oh, maybe I am actually really pretty.
It's like that words of affirmation. Like it kind of boosts you up.
It boosts you up. And it's like what you said earlier, like I'd rather get to the point where, you know I'm pretty. Thanks for the compliment. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Because I think I get what you're saying now. It's like, it's not even on your mind, but someone brings it up and it's like, oh, yay.
Yeah, like, thanks. I didn't know I was good at that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something I do. So what are some self-love practices that you do on a daily or maybe on a weekly, monthly basis? Do you set any healthy boundaries or goals for yourself? Sometimes it can be difficult to do, but it's like the little steps that kind of help along the way too.
I would say like just drinking water. Just something as easy as drinking water.
Are you still doing your gallon of water a day challenge?
I am not, but then I'm trying to drink more water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because it was part of my vision board too, and I know that there's a lot of benefits to drinking enough water. It's gonna like do good for my body, but I think there's just a couple things that's holding me back, like going to use the bathroom like every hour.
Yeah, all the time.
I feel like that's just gonna be so convenient. I mean, not convenient, inconvenient in my like workflow, my daily work tasks.
But I think that's only at first.
Yeah.
For your body to get used to all those fluids. But then
After that,
once it like adjusts to it, and then it
you're not gonna
becomes normal.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like you drink a lot of water, you
I
go a
know.
lot of times.
Forever.
Yeah.
I know. So yeah, my colleague told me about that too. So and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try again next week.
Yeah. Dang, I might give it a try again. I only lasted like a week, and I gave up.
I like to spoil myself here and there. I try not to spend a lot of money on a daily basis or like a weekly basis, but because we want to save money for like other things. But yesterday, Tujar and I, we went shopping, and I was like, or before we went shopping, I was like, I want to take myself out, or I want to buy stuff for myself just because I feel like I deserve it. And
Yeah, you do.
it's been like a long time since I like went shopping, and it's been so long that it feels weird to shop for me. So like, I was like, I'm just gonna buy myself, or like let's just go shopping, and I'm just gonna buy stuff for myself that I've always wanted. And so
You deserve it. Don't feel guilty.
yeah,
I gotta tell myself that sometimes. Like, don't feel bad. You deserve this.
I always try to live up to other people's standards, which shouldn't be important to me at all, but I just grew up with that kind of mindset where like, oh, you have to do this so people will think that you're like this and like that. So I think that's just been something that I've been doing for a really long time, and I'm just trying to move on without having to worry about other people's thoughts or opinions on me.
It's part of being shameless about who you are too. I feel like that's part of the self-love and self-growth journey. And also like what you said earlier, like we grew up with that mentality that we have to meet other people's expectations, and we don't, then we're gonna be like down upon. But I feel like no matter what you do, people are gonna have something to say. Like no matter how successful you are, even if you become a doctor, they're gonna say something about you. You're still not good enough. But it's just like how we quiet those voices and just move on and be shameless about who we are is a big part of that self-love picture.
Yeah, and I feel like it's hard to do that, and that's just a journey we're all gonna have to be on.
Exactly.
And I think especially since we did grow up in this small community where we are taught to be people pleaser.
Right.
You know, like, oh, so and so wants me to do this. Okay, I'm gonna do this, so that So we're like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this so that they're happy. Oh, my mom wants me to clean the house. Okay, I'm going to clean the house because if I don't do it, she's going to get upset. Or, it's those small little things that
I know.
eventually adds up.
Yeah.
And it's like set and ingrained into your brain that this is how you should be living life, pleasing other people and doing what they want you to do.
Because, like, now that we're living by ourselves, like, back then, my mom would be like, oh, you need to make sure you wash the dishes after every time you use it and you bring it to the sink. And now, like, when we're done eating dinner, I always have that guilt feeling where, like, oh, shoot, I'm not washing the dishes. You know?
Yeah, same.
Same. Now I feel like I am becoming my mom.
I know.
After getting married,
Me too.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, my mom would have wanted this way. Because I was conditioned like that growing up, And when, for example, like, when I ask Ma to clean the bathroom and he does, and then I go in the bathroom like, you forgot this part, you didn't wipe down that, and that still has stains on it. My mama would not approve.
Yes. Sometimes I'm like, oh, if my mom walked in this house, she would be so disappointed in me. Like that kind of mindset. And sometimes I would think back, I'd be like, gosh, I hated how my mom made me do all these stuff.
Yeah,
but here I
same.
am doing it to TK.
Yeah.
And to myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when you like live with other people, you're kind of like, oh, like I'm really becoming a mom. Like my mom would not want this.
Yeah.
Everyone just grows up so differently. But now, like, I really appreciate my mom too, and like
That's
what she
true.
has instilled in me and my sisters. I'm just glad we were raised the way we were too.
I agree.
Yeah. But at the same time, I still feel like that's us being very judgmental on ourselves. Because I find myself not wanting to do the dishes right away.
Yeah, and that's totally fine too.
Yeah. But it's like, but it's that guilt, Like,
Yeah.
that's not part of self-love. It's like learning to accept that it's okay not to do the dishes right away or whatever it is that's making you feel guilty in the moment.
Exactly. My most recent example was for our Galentine's, and I was like, dang, Va, you're going to be out all weekend, and it's just the sister-in-laws and my mother-in-law home. And I know we're going to be out, like, for our own friends' Galentine's until, like, very late in the morning. Like, will it be okay since, like, he's not with me and I'm out all day with, like, other people? Because, when people have that judgment, like,
Go
you're a married
everywhere with
woman.
your husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go everywhere with your husband. And
I mean, your husband has to go everywhere with you.
Yeah, you need to be together.
you need to be together. And, like, a married woman shouldn't be out so late, kind of thing. Because it can be, like, scandalous. So to me, I'm like, ugh, I don't know how I feel. But I'm like, just be shameless. Just keep doing what you're doing. And if they say something, just, I don't know, be smart about what you say back. So, like, the next morning, on Saturday morning, when I went upstairs, my mother-in-law was like, oh, did you come home late last night? And I was like, yeah, I did. Did you hear me come in? She's like, no, I didn't, but I was just wondering if you were going to come home. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh.
And so,
But she came home.
Yeah.
yeah.
Pa Houa took her home.
Yes. And you know what? It's okay if you didn't go home because we were at Jessica's house.
Yeah.
Like we were at a safe place with friends and you wanted to be there. It's like anyone
Exactly.
forced you to be there. You
Exactly.
weren't trying to please anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm doing it for myself. This is me. And if I'm not doing what I want, then am I really living up to
Who
I am, right?
Not being true to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And so I just kept, like, quieting that voice down, like, it's fine. It's fine. You've done this before too. And no big deal. But it always just comes up in my head.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, they can only just badmouth you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're going to physically reprimand you for going out late at night without your husband.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's just about what you and your husband think are important and how you communicate to each other in terms of, like, what you're doing, where you're going. Because I know, like, I told Va, like, this is how I feel about the situation. And he's like, yeah, I can see that, but just go and just have fun. I will. But if something happens, like, would you say something? He's like, yeah, I will. Like, as long as we're both okay with whatever we're doing, then, it's fine. Because we live so differently from everyone else that we live with as well. So to me, sometimes I feel guilty about, going out so often, but it's also because we are the type of people to have a lot of friends, or our friends like to hang out.
So you guys don't have like kids or anything.
Exactly. So sometimes I feel bad, but I'm just trying to remind myself, like, it's fine. This is your life and this is who you are. Like, you can't just be like sitting at home trying to be the perfect nya when there's really no perfect nya.
Yeah, just because Va was at home doesn't mean you should have to stay in your room all day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's just something we're all gonna have to get used to. Even though I know Jessica, you and I, we've moved out, but I know parents, they still talk.
Yeah.
And so even if you move out, they'll always talk. You are still at home, they'll talk. People are always talking.
I know, exactly. So I'm like, I'm happy with my life, and if you are not, then who cares? Like, why do you care so much about my life? It's not your life.
How about you guys? How do you guys love yourself?
I don't know. I mean, I do know, just in very different ways and in many different forms. I feel like I try to work out often, or at least like 4 times a week, and I try to set goals for myself and just remind myself that I can meet those goals and I'm worthy of like all the love that I receive from people. And then, just giving myself space and time and quietness. I really appreciate like just having time to myself or being in my own space. So just practicing that all the time when I'm at home.
Oh, so for me, I know that you guys both know that I sleep pretty early. I think that's one way I kind of show self-love to myself, getting maybe like my 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I definitely know I feel better when I wake up in the morning compared to maybe getting like 5 or 6 hours. Because I definitely feel very sluggish and very, I don't want to say very upset with myself, but disappointed in myself sometimes. It's like, well, you're going to feel like this when you wake up if you only get 5 hours of sleep. So why did you do this to yourself? So I tend to be very harsh on myself. And so I always try to get my 8 hours of sleep if possible. I don't eat a ton of veggies. I feel like my health part, my consumption part is not there for self-love.
That's okay. It's hard to maintain a very healthy and balanced diet.
Yeah. That, and I do try to get, when I work, I try to get, Monday to Friday, I try to get at least 6,000 steps in a day, which is not a lot. But to me, I feel like that's a lot.
I feel like it's a lot now, especially since we're all just home all the time too, with quarantine.
So I guess that's like one of the healthy goals that I've set for myself. And again, with the water, like what Jessica said, in the morning, I do try to like make sure I have enough time to do my morning routine, because I hate being rushed, or I hate feeling like I'm being rushed, especially in the winter. It's like, okay, now I gotta go clean my car off the snow, or I gotta go warm up my car. And I try to make sure I have time to like moisturize my face. It's like those tiny things where I feel better about myself. Like it could be like just a tiny little pamper routine, 10 minutes. And just those little things definitely make me feel better. Even if I just put my eye cream, I'm like, oh, my eyes look better. Or if I don't put it on, like, oh, damn, like, why are they so sad looking?
No.
And so those are just some things I do on the daily to make myself feel more love.
Yeah. I feel like when you're so hard on yourself, you also give yourself that reminder that I should really be doing these practices to keep up with like my own self-love.
Do you guys feel like your self-love can show through how your appearances are? Or I feel like it does show through how I look. I know that sometimes I look like freaking kwami or like chicken poop, but like I don't know. And that's like another reason why like I just try to
Doll up and
doll up a little bit. But I do agree that it can show through, because whenever I feel like shit, like feel like I just look like shit.
No, I agree. Sometimes it's like your outer part of you really reflects your inner part of you, and vice versa.
Yeah, just like how you eat, you are what you eat. Like Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, to add on to setting healthy goals, I also try to journal. I know I said at the beginning of the year I want to try journaling more. And like, I'm not comfortable with journaling like freely yet in a blank canvas. But with the journal that I bought recently called Unilove Planner, it breaks it down by the day, and it kind of asks you like, what are 3 things that you're grateful for today? What are 3 things that you did for self-love? And what are some long-term, or not long-term, but like longer goals that you have accomplished today, or some shorter goals and some progress that you made today? And then as a little section for notes and other stuff that you can write down. To me, just setting aside time to reflect about my day and just jotting down like how I felt and what were the positive things has really helped me just like realize what I'm actually doing and all the things I'm actually attaining within like, you know, the past couple of months by doing this.
Are you documenting or like writing this daily?
Yeah, I try to do it daily, just as a reflection. I think I'm to the point now where I should have more diverse goals, because it's like today I worked out, and today I did homework and I did podcast work, and then the next day it's like I worked out, did podcast, and I did this.
Well, that's good that you actually at least have, you know, documentation or proof that, okay, maybe I do need to do more than what I'm doing. Because otherwise, I think you would probably continue every day doing the same thing and not even notice that that's what you were spending your time on.
Exactly. For the part where it says, like, write down 3 things you're grateful for. My husband and
food, water.
You know, like, for a few of the days, I wrote down a caring and supportive husband, and then an abundance of food, and then family and friends. But even if it repeats itself, it's still a good reminder that you have those things in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I think I kind of want to start like a gratitude journal too. Or like every morning, wake up and be thankful, and go to bed being thankful for the things you have in life. Because I think we easily overlook those stuff.
Yeah.
Just because we're so busy every day. It's like, and then we're so focused on maybe more of the negative stuff, like things I don't have or things I want.
Yeah.
So I think a gratitude journal would be nice. Maybe I'll start that.
I remember what I was going to say, but I guess another thing that I want to do for self-love too would be like, I don't know, just to be confident. Gosh, Jessica, this is what you wanted for a very long time and you're still not there. Just because like whenever I scroll through like Instagram or Facebook, and like I would show Tujer like pictures of these girls with, I don't want to say showy clothes, but they just look really good, and like with booty shorts and
It's like more exposed skin clothing.
yeah, and I would ask Tujer like, would you care if I wear this? And he was like, no. And I was like, really? So like you would let me wear this out? I don't know, if we were gonna go somewhere, you would let me, like, you would be okay with me wearing this? And he's like, yeah, you can wear it, like, I don't know, go crazy, wear what Hyeolin wears and all that. And I was like, dang, like, I really need to just get in shape and wear whatever the fuck I want, because
It's okay. You don't need to be in shape either. You look good already.
I feel like that will kind of like help me feel a little bit better of myself. But I appreciate Tujer for like not being like concealing or like taking control of what I wear. And I should be taking advantage of that and just wearing whatever I want and not caring what people would think of me.
That means no need to ask Tujer too. Just wear it, girl.
Yeah, if you
don't
like
need
it,
to ask
you
him.
want it.
That's
You get
true.
it.
If he has a problem, then too bad.
Right. That's true. Yeah, I shouldn't be asking Tujer so much. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you don't need his permission, girl.
I think just going off of that, I feel like our husbands have way more confidence in us than we do in ourselves.
I
Have you
feel like
noticed
that too.
'Cause I feel like
Yeah,
TK's like that
agree.
too.
But they also are very, very conceited.
They are. So I guess maybe that's
So
why.
they have a lot of self-confidence.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like they need to share that with us.
I feel like when Ban and I started dating, I felt a lot of his confidence and I felt it rubbing off on me, and I felt more confident. Like when I was walking with him or just hanging out and we're like walking, strolling together, I just felt like I was standing taller and everything. So I feel like to some extent he has like shown me how to be more confident in myself, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah, I agree. I think whenever I'm out with TK, I definitely feel more confident. I don't know if it's because I'm with someone that I feel more secure about myself, or if it's his confidence rubbing off of me too. Mm-hmm. Just gotta work on that self-confidence.
Yeah, I agree. So how do you guys know that you guys are lacking self-love?
I get this feeling a lot. I don't want to say it, but to be real with myself, like how I'm feeling and how I'm perceiving myself to myself. Does that make sense? I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm not making sense right now. Anyways, like, I feel like, naturally at the start of the day, your body feels a lot lighter and you have that morning body where, like, you're not bloated and you just stand a little taller. And then at the end of the day, you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, dang, I'm so bloated and fat right now. And so to me, like, when I get to that point of the day, I'm just kind of like, dang, what did I do wrong today to feel like this? And that's when I know, like, I'm not like giving myself enough credit and I'm not loving myself in the way I should be. And then I think to myself, okay, tomorrow I have to try to be better and try not to eat the kind of foods that will make me bloated or feel this way at the end of the day. I've gotten that feeling quite a bit by making more of a conscious decision and just being more aware of like what I consume, so that every day I'm not resorting to the same feeling over and over again. Mm-hmm. That's when I know I'm lacking self-love, because I can't accept my body being bloated.
No, I agree. I get those feelings too. And it's like, it's such a sucky feeling to feel. Mm-hmm. And I think it makes you really doubt kind of like yourself and your lifestyle.
Yeah, it does. But it's a journey. Like, this phase is only temporary. But if you want to move out of this phase, then you have to work for it. So now I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, how are you going to work for it?
Yeah, I know for me, I know when I'm lacking self-love is usually in the morning. If I'm not getting enough sleep, I feel just awful. Or if I had way too much to drink the night before and I get a hangover, I was like, oh shit, like I need to take care of myself more. Like, why did I drink so much?
Exactly.
Isn't that you every weekend though? I'm just kidding.
No, it's not. I was okay Saturday morning. But yeah, it really does. I think the morning after, that's how you know, or I guess at the end of the night, that's how I know that I either loved myself or I didn't. Mm-hmm. And it's sucky to feel the non-self-love feeling.
Yeah. For me, like, I beat myself up over like the littlest thing ever. I don't know. I could be like, I shouldn't have said this to my supervisor. He's probably overthinking those little details, but like those little details may not even like matter to him. And I feel like I just become so negative about everything that I do. And I guess that's just how I know that I'm lacking self-love, because I just turn everything into a negative thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I agree. I feel like I'm so quick to turn things negative, whereas I should probably be quicker to turn things into a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all like about your mindset.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So that's something you gotta work on.
Why do you guys think that self-love is so difficult?
I think, like we said earlier, social media, just seeing all the different trends that come through, and like, why am I not like that person? Always comparing yourself. I think it makes it so difficult because we constantly judge ourselves about what we have and what we don't have, that we don't realize like how much we already do have too.
Yeah. And it's also like comparing yourself.
And then this is just a little quote I found online. It says, Loving yourself truly comes with facing what you may hate most about yourself. Maybe it is a body part or multiple body parts, or the way you treated someone, or guilt or shame about a situation. The thing is, until you can really shine a light on your insecurities, you will never be truly accepting of yourself. And I think that last part of the quote just really hits hard. You know, unless you're able to really accept your insecurities, like, you will probably have a really hard time loving yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
Or like, if you don't like something, then maybe you can like change it. Not change it, but then like work to make it to your liking, I guess. For example, if I want big boobies, then I should go and get big boobies.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with cosmetic surgeries.
There's not.
Yeah.
I did like a whole presentation on it on back in college in one of my psych class. I did a presentation on cosmetic surgeries and how it can boost self-confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
it does.
Nothing wrong with doing that.
When you were reading this, it occurred to me just accepting yourself in your form, because, you know, like, there are people out there in all different shapes and sizes, and then some of them are like, you know, I want bigger this, I want bigger that, or some bigger person might say, I want to be skinny, but then there's also those people who are, you know, bigger, but they like strut all the things that they have, and they truly embrace that, and they're okay with that. And to me, I just want to get to that point where, you know, if I'm thick, then I'm thick and I look good. Not like I'm thick and I want to be skinny. Like, I want to get to a point where, you know, you're comfortable with your size, and that, like, you don't need to change who you are.
Right.
And I feel like that's so hard because I feel like it's mainly all in your head. And if you're able to flip that kind of thinking, then you can maybe start accepting just who you are and what you were given in life.
I think it goes along with your confidence too. Like, even if you are not comfortable with, or like, to be, how do I put this in 2 words? Like, never mind.
This is a hard episode.
Yes, this is a hard episode.
It's just like, you know, even though, like, if you're a thick girl and you know you're thick, but you lack that confidence, and people won't, they can see that you don't have that confidence in yourself, right? But if you like are thick and you strut it and you're super confident, then like they can see that you're glowing in like love and positivity, or that you just really like love yourself and love being in your own body. Like, to me, it's hard to find that confidence in my own body too, just for a number of reasons. But one day at a time, trying to work those things out.
Yeah, this is hard. Why do you think self-love is so difficult? This is exactly why this question is hard, because we are struggling to answer the question.
Yeah, I never know how to answer this.
Yeah. So I guess to move on to something more positive, how do you two pamper yourself? And this could be maybe a daily thing, or again, like what Gal said, it could be weekly, monthly.
I mean, do you have to enjoy it when you're pampering yourself?
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless I don't think it would be considered pampering yourself.
Oh,
Right?
really?
Yeah.
Like you said earlier, like spending money on things that you want. I think that's pampering yourself.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like when I'm tired and I don't want to wash my face, but I know that I should wash my face just so I can have clear skin. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one way of pampering yourself.
Oh, okay.
No,
It's however
yeah.
you define it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say that too. I think by me pampering myself, that would include me doing my night routine, brushing my teeth, showering, and doing my skincare. Like, those are things I have to always do.
I think just like having that time to like do your night routine is like,
Pampering yourself.
yeah, or like self-love.
Yeah, I would like to pamper myself more
Yeah.
because I have a bunch of face masks at home.
Yeah, now that you bring up the face mask, I feel like when I was furloughed earlier last year, like, I had so much time to do my sheet mask, and now
Yeah.
I barely have time
You
to
bought
do
a
it.
lot when
Yeah.
the pandemic started.
Exactly. So I was like really pampering myself because I had the time to do it, you know? And so now I'm thinking, just kind of reflecting, like, what happened to that?
Yeah. I think about that too. Like, dang, I need to really start using the stuff that I bought instead of just letting it collect dust. Because, I bought it for me. I bought it to do this with my body and to change my body somehow, right? But then sometimes, like, that routine is difficult to keep up, or it's just like another thing that you have to do sometimes. But then you have to like think around that, like, I'm doing it for myself, I'm doing it for me, and the benefit will show later on.
That's true.
And I feel like sometimes just doing those sheet masks, like, you can do it and then watch a movie. So I feel like, okay, I just gotta get it on and then I can do something else while it's like getting absorbed into my skin.
Yeah, I agree, because even if I don't put the face mask on, I'm going to be on my phone. Or I'm going to be watching TV, so I might as well put it on.
Yeah,
and do it
exactly.
and really pamper my skin.
Yeah. Like, I'm not doing anything anyways. I'm doing something so useless right now that I can do something else and watch TV at the same time. Because I remember when I was still doing crochet, like, I'll crochet and then watch TV, just listen and kind of look back and forth. And that worked too. Like, I feel like I was being productive and I was learning a new hobby, just doing something for myself, but also like relaxing and winding down the day.
I feel like we're also criticizing ourselves. Like, it comes naturally too, because you're like, oh, I could be proactive. Well,
Why do I need to be proactive?
right.
Yeah.
That's true. I didn't even think of that.
That reminds me of this morning when I woke up. It was so peaceful. And I feel like I started today on a really, really good note. Last night, I just like knocked out, and I woke up this morning and my room was just filled with sunlight. And most of the times when I wake up, the sun is just peeking through and I don't have a lot of light in my room. No, like, kids like in the background, and it's just very quiet. And I got up and I worked out, and then I showered, and then I had some leftover spring rolls that we made, and then I cleaned our room because it was a mess from like just going from one thing to another the past couple days. And so I was productive, but to me that was like me giving me space to like declutter and like to give back more positive energy into that space, because I felt like the past couple of days with everything in the room, it just made me think to myself, like, my gosh, like, how am I gonna think in this room? Like, this space is not the space for me to like be positive or to work in.
And for me, I feel like my room reflects how my life is going. If my room is messy, then that means that my life is probably chaotic at the moment. But my life is probably chaotic every day or all the time, because my room is always messy. Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I feel like my whole house, not just my bedroom, my whole house is a reflection of my life. So if it's dirty, then
I mean, it has all the things you love, so that's okay.
that is true.
Mm-hmm. So the final discussion item today is, what is one thing you love about yourself? I feel like this is a hard one, difficult to answer.
I told Pa Houa, when I was going through the outline earlier today and I read that question, I was like, I don't know, this is a hard question.
Mm-hmm.
I know, when I was typing that, I was like, we should end on something positive.
Yeah.
You know? Because I'm pretty sure this topic is going to be hard to talk about. So let's end on something positive. So I wrote that question down and I was like, what is one thing I love about myself? Like, now I got to really think. And that's so stupid in my opinion. Like, I should love myself already, and I should be having lots of answers for this question. But I find myself kind of struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I'm struggling here too.
Me too. I honestly can't think of anything.
Me too.
Okay, let's start with something we love about each other, and then we can go back on ourselves, because it's easier to talk about other people, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So let's do that. And then we also did say that when people compliment us, it does make us feel a little better. So let's do that.
Well, for both of you, I love how open you two are about anything and everything. Like, I feel like you two are an open book, and it's easy to relate to you two in that way. I feel like a lot of our conversations are very meaningful. And I also love how open you two are to having all of us in your home all the time. And how down you guys are to hang out and just have a good time.
Jessica and I are smiling.
I know, when you're saying that, I was like, really?
Yeah.
It's true.
For me, what I love most about, maybe I can do individually.
Sure.
Okay. What I love most about Jessica is that, I think we talked about this before, is that how you...
I'm always so crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Too.
Yeah, I do love that about you and how you can be like pretty shameless in our...
Really?
I don't know how
I feel like I'm so like ignorant sometimes. I don't know.
No, I think I like
No.
how you're pretty shameless in our group. Like if you want
Yeah.
to talk about something, you just be like, hey, what do you guys think about this? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, you know, like I have those thoughts too, but I've never brought it up, you know? And so I feel like that's one thing I really love about you and really admire about you, how you're just, if you want to talk about something, you just bring it up and see if anyone has any input about it.
Really? Wow. Thanks, Paul.
I also love how crazy you guys are too, and then it makes me have to be that crazy too, which makes me feel more adventurous, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm glad to be able to experience so many of the things we have done together, just because my relationship with my sisters or my sister-in-laws are not like the ones we have here together. And so I'm just thankful to have you to experience all these crazy fun adventures with, you know?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah. We've had so much fun.
Yeah. And then Gal, for you, I think I've said this before, like I love how like down you always are, even if it's like tiny little things. And like Jessica, you're down too, but Gal is just like down. I think we both know that. And I also love how you have so much knowledge. Have you noticed that? Like I feel like,
Really?
yeah. I think even in our conversation, it's about like Black Lives Matter, it's about gender roles, it's about just like anything, even politics. I feel like you are very informative.
Dang, I don't feel that way at all.
Really?
Really? You are.
Like, okay, no, keep going. I won't say it. It's not that time to say it. This is a space for self-love right now.
Yes. And so I don't know if you noticed about it, even just in our group chats, like you would just bring up random stuff that I know is popping on my newsfeed, but I'm not even attending to it, you know? And something that's something I really love about you, and it reminds, I have to remind myself that I need to be more involved in what's going on in the world too. So, yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. I'll say what I love about you two, like as a whole, and then I'll get
Okay.
individual. I just love how you both are always, I don't know, how you guys accept how crazy I am. I feel like sometimes I could be so, I don't know, loud and crazy, and you guys are just like, okay, let's just go with it. And just
Yeah.
be crazy too. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I just feel like accepted. I don't have to be anyone else. I could just be myself comfortably. So I appreciate that about you two. Gao, like just how Pa Houa said, I just love how you carry yourself. You
thanks.
I feel like you're so intelligent
Yeah,
and
and so
so
sophisticated.
yeah, like,
Dang.
you're such an intellectual.
Yeah. Just kind of like, blah, blah.
I know. Like, because sometimes I feel like I'm so crazy, and then like when I look at you, you're like calm or like reserved. I don't know. Like it just make me think like, oh shit, I'm
Dial it
acting.
back, man.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
like,
maybe we're a good balance for each other
Yeah,
here.
I feel like we have a good balance going on in our
Yeah.
group right now.
and just like how Pa Houa said, like you're informative and like I don't know. I just feel like you have such useful skills that you have skills that I wish I had. Like when we were starting our podcast, you were like doing all these docs and all these things on your Google Docs or Google Drive.
yeah.
And I was like, dang, I didn't know all this existed.
Yeah,
You know?
same.
Yeah. So I was like, dang, I need to like learn from this girl and apply it to my professional life. But I feel like you're younger than me, but I feel like you're like an older sister to me. That's just because you've been through so much and you know so much, and like I can always ask you things, and you always give me insights or advice, or like you, like for example, when we would go to the bar and then you would like be the leader of the pack, and I'm just like,
yeah.
okay. This was her second home back in the college days. But yeah, that's just what I love about you guys. So Yeah, I think that's it.
Thanks.
Thanks.
How about ourselves?
All right. One thing that I love about myself, and this is something that I definitely struggle with growing up, was my height. Because I'm 5'3", and I feel like that's a little taller than the average Hmong girl.
Dang, girl, I want to be that tall.
Yeah,
you're
I don't.
tall.
I think I was like very ashamed of my height because the guys are short. Hmong guys are short. They can be short. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like why am I so tall? And I hated my height, and it was definitely a struggle. But now I think I'm very appreciative of my height. Like I love it. I wish I was even a little taller. So I guess that's one thing I've learned to love about myself. What about you two?
I think.
You know.
I know. One thing I love about myself is how adaptable I am to different environments, and just taking it as it is and going with the flow of things. Sometimes it can be difficult too, but I'm just glad that I'm able to embrace all the craziness and all the changes that happen, or even if it's sudden, like just going with it and just letting that moment be, instead of making it a negative thing. I think I just appreciate that about myself. Yeah,
I could see that. Yeah. Like when you're adapting to my crazy ways.
Okay, time to be crazy.
yeah.
And
Let's go.
Time to be calm.
Right.
Even when you're not crazy, and I feel like I want to get crazy, then I have to pull you in. Like when it's time for shots, right?
Yes.
Pa Houa knows.
Oh, or that one time you came over to my place and you were like drunk already. Was it the other week?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
when we did karaoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She came over and she was drunk. And I was like, whoa.
Oh.
I need to get to God's level. Yeah.
I guess. Okay. One
Don't guess.
Yeah. I was like, no.
Okay, one thing I love about myself and I'm proud of myself about is how, like, I guess just similar to Gao too, how I'm adaptable and I'm flexible depending on the environment I am. Like if we're just relaxing and just taking it slow, like I can do that too, but then we're gonna like bring it up to 100 like real quick, then like I can do that too.
Okay, let's bring it up to 100 real quick for this.
Yeah. We will.
Call off work too much. Not just around like friends, but also like at work too. Like I can adapt really easily to like the workflow or the environment at work. So that's something that I'm proud of myself. I guess that's something that's like a skill I have. Usually I would bring it up, I don't know, in like interviews or something. But yeah, I think that's something I like about myself or love about myself. Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
That was hard.
Yeah, that was pretty difficult.
Yeah, it
but
really was.
step one to
Self-love.
self-love. All right. Well, that's all that we have for today. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for listening to all of our episodes this far, and for listening to our February episodes on love.
Yes, and you can connect with us on our social media and find us on Spotify, Google Podcast, iTunes, and YouTube.
And while you're at it, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and follow us. And remember to submit your questions by using the link listed below. Talk to y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye.